So let us discuss about the concept of variables. So variable, it is used to store some value. I'll create a program, something like P1 variables and data types. Okay, yeah. Then we give some x equals 10, and of course x is a variable, 10 is the value that you assign to x. You already know that. So let me increase the font size as well. So I'm making sure that these are all recorded so that it will be easy for you to understand how to increase the size of font and how to do different kinds of stuff. And you can happily see that, right? Yeah. Go to File, Settings, and here you will have Editor. In this you will have Font. You can change the font and something like. So let's say I wanted to have some 15 or 18, and this will be easy for you to watch it. Yes, this will be fine. Yeah. So x is a variable. Yes, you can able to reassign the value, no issue at all, right? And y equals 20, and this is also one of the variable, and you don't need to have this one, and I got habituated. Generally, it shows some warning, and it will ask you to give some space between assignment and all. When you set reformat, all shift enter is for reformat. You can see that, and there are no warnings. Yes. So this is how. And x plus y. So let's say I'm printing x and plus y, and there is, okay, while I'm explaining, I'll also give you some shortcuts as well. So when I say print it, so automatically it becomes print. So you don't need to write again, print again inside of the text plus y. No, it's not required. So what you can simply do is x plus y and then dot. So you write something and that all becomes into print. So that's a good feature in Python. I like it. I like this feature, in fact. So here x is a variable, y is a variable. And because it is the numeric value, so numeric value, right, x dot. So you don't see more methods which are related to that. Okay, in fact, Python, you have a lot of built-in functions. So the first built-in function what we generally use is type. So we will come to know the type of that particular x. So this is important when it comes to variables. This is important, right? So I'm running it, and so not every time I'll be using right click and then run it. Sometimes I'll use Shift F10. I'm using I'm not using a keyboard shortcut for execution because my function key, it's not direct. I have to use some extra key. That's the reason I'm every time I'm going with this one. So generally what I'll do is I'll go with Alt U and then I'll press U. So that will execute everything. So Alt U means it is going to run, and then U means it is going to run it. Okay, this is the shortcut what I generally use instead of going for F10, all these things, because F10 there is long distance. That's actually long distance key for left hand, right? Or difference between keys. So okay, fine. Okay, so here, what are the types we have? I'm saying int. So there is one more type. One more time. Let's say 20.3. This is going to be long. This is going to be long, right? Sorry, is it long? No, float. My mistake. Okay, this is going to be float, right? You can see that it is printing float. So then, do we have long? No, we don't have long. Why? So in Python 2 we have long, but in Python 3, the int itself is fulfilling the long behavior. So we don't have long here. Then what else we have? We also have some other type called complex number, right? So this is generally used for some scientific calculations. It's not required for us. So you can specify something like, some z equals 2j. I'll specify something like that. I'm specifying. So what is the 2j? So I'll be using some x equal to x, something like that, right? Okay, those kind of complex number, right? You don't need to worry about this, right? So complex number, it is with it is for scientific calculation. We don't need to worry about this. We will be using only int and float. So what else available here? What are the other data types available? So we do not have anything like character, but we have string. So string type is actually called as text sequence as well. Text sequence or string type. So I'm using some str is equals to hello, right? And then str dot print. Then sorry, I'm using it and it is printing hello, right? So now I'm going to print str, and then I wanted to have the type as well, right? I wanted to have the type, so the type of this one, right? So I'm using type of here, and then so it shows string, yeah. So it is showing you the type, and it is showing you it is printing that string. And the next thing, there are very good features when it comes to Python. Let's say I wanted to print only H, I want to print only E, L, something like that. You can happily print that. You can happily print that by specifying bracket. Let's say I wanted to start with 1:3. So now it actually starts from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it is going to print from E, L, L. Okay, let's see. So let's print it. So I'm just showing you, right? Okay, these are all some good features when it comes to Python. And I told you this is like text sequence. So the sequence of strings will be printed here. The sequence. So you can even use for loop and then print one by one character. Okay, there are so many features out there, but I'm just telling you we have integer, we have float, and string. So what will happen if you store a number as a string, a equals 10 and b equals 20, and then I'll say a plus b, and then I'll print it. So what will happen? This is the general doubt you will have, right? So it says, no, I cannot add, a plus b. No, I cannot do that. So that's what it says, right? So it says can only concatenate and send an integer. So now we can concatenate, but remember, we can concatenate, but not add it. So that's why it is showing you. So now how to convert it? So we have some functions which will convert these things, right? So we have some functions. So those functions are useful to do it, right? So now it is converting. So int of, string of, float of, like that. You have some functions here. These are all functions. So people coming from Java, don't get confused. Functions, you can directly use them. People who have experience in VB scripting, they can clearly understand what is a function, right? Global function, you can directly use it. These are all built-in functions. You can directly use it. You don't need to refer them by using any object instance, right? You can directly use it. So that's the meaning of it. Like, in Java, system.out.println. So system, that's in built-in class. So you're using it here. You can have classes, you can have functions. So individually, you can directly use functions. That's the advantage of it. So that kind of freedom you have in Python, right? Don't get confused. You can directly use it. Like that you have string, like that you have int, float. So there are some data types as well, right? List, set. Okay, there are so many built-in functions as well. We will discuss them later. But for now, remember, we have integer, float, string. So these are the basic types to start with. Yes, we also have some data structures, and we'll discuss. But for now, you have to remember these things. Okay, next, how to assign value. That is important. So far, we have assigned value in this way. Some variable equals to value, variable equals to value, variable equals to value. This is what we did. And I told you, Python is having many features. So how can we assign values, and what are all the different ways we have in order to assign values? So let us see all the different values that you get here. Let us see all the different values. So let us see this. I will create P2 assigning values. Let us see. So by default, you assign values x equals 10. So this is one way of assigning. Okay. So the single variable. Now, there is one more. I wanted to assign values at a time to multiple variables. Yes, that is possible here, and 10 comma 20. Yes. So let's see whether it got assigned or not. X dot print and y dot print. Okay. Now see this. Oh, it is still executing the old one. I wanted to execute the current one, right? So it is still executing the P1 data types variables. I have to use Alt Shift F10 for only first time. I have to do it, right? So for the first time I'm using it, right? So assigning values, yes, it printed. Got it. So next one. So at a time you can able to assign values to multiple variables. That is possible. And second, you can also assign values. You can also assign values like this. One value to multiple variables like A equals, B equals, C equals, let's say 100. So now A dot print and B dot print and C dot print. So now you can see that all variables will have the same value. So all variables have the same value. So this is the advantage, right? And one more. So here x equal to y, x equal 10 and y equals 20. There is a famous interview question general. So swap values, that's a famous interview question. So generally when you attend interview as a fresher, you get this kind of questions, right? Yeah. So x equal to x minus y, there is some logic which we'll use, but in Python, how much easy is that? Okay, let's see. So x comma y is equals, I can specify y comma x. So now let us see the values here. So I'm going to print, let's say x value, okay, x value, and I'll specify colon, and here I'm going to use comma, right? So I'm going to specify x, right? So it is going to print like that. That's how we'll print different values, right? So y and comma y. Okay, let's see how it gets. Run it. So at the end, you can observe x value is 20 and y value is 10. Okay, this is how you can able to exchange the values. So easy, right? See the advantage, you can assign values to multiple variables. You can assign a single value to multiple variables, and you can exchange the values. So all these are possible. And also when it comes to string, you can even assign a multi-line string as well. So str is equals, you can specify, this is a multi-line string, right? This is a multi-line string, right? Okay, this is going to be multi-line string, that's it, right? So now I'm going to print this string, right? Yeah, so execute and you'll see the result. So this is going to be multi-line string. So this is how you can assign the values to variables.